Alright, if you're watching this video, it's because you might be in a situation where you need to add sheets and tabs to the assessment master. You can always combine one of your copies of the master sheet if you don't wish to do this, but if you would prefer to keep everything on one sheet and you need to add, the first thing is, if you go all the way down on the bottom and go to the very right, there is a master blank sheet for a wind player, and there's a master blank sheet for a percussion player. So that just matters if you're who you're going to add. So if I'm going to add someone on the end, I'm going to pretend that I'm adding a wind player. My last wind player here is this student here. All right, if I'm going to add someone, then I'm going to right click, insert below. Okay, so I've got one there. And you would put in your student name. Right now I'm just going to type new student. Okay, you would put in whatever their email is. All right, same thing for the next one. If they had a second one, you'd put in their instrument, whatever it is. Now you need to have a assessment tab for that student. So you will come down to the bottom, you will go all the way to the right, you will find the Wind Master tab here of a blank one, and you're going to right click and you're going to duplicate that. Okay, and the reason why you're going to duplicate it is in case you need to do it for other people later on. Okay, and then you're going to add that one where it would go behind your last wind player, or whatever order you want to put it in. You can retitle it new student, obviously the real student's name, and click enter. Okay, so now you've got a tab that's going to attach to that. So I have a little thing here that says type equals, then back to master sheet and select the cell you want to mirror, then hit enter. Okay, so in this cell, all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the equals button, and then I'm going to scroll back to the master, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the cell of the name of the new student, and then I'm going to hit enter, and then you'll see that it shows up there. The next thing you're going to need is you want the title to automatically populate for whatever assessment that they're going to do. You'll end up doing the same thing here with the blue button on the master sheet. So you're going to hit equals. You will come back over to the master sheet and you will click on that blue button and hit enter. Okay, now it still says title here because this is our blank master of that particular class period. We haven't put any titles of an assessment in yet, so that's why it looked like it said the same thing, but it is pulling that information. The other thing you'll need to do is take this cell, hit equals, and come back to the class master and put it on the cell for their instrument, so it brings the correct instrument. All right, then we need to have the score to be able to populate on our score. So I'm going to click that cell, I'm going to hit equals, and then I'm going to go back to the new student sheet that I just made for the assessment here, and then I'm going to click where that grade score is and hit enter, and now that is pulling that. Okay, so we've pulled and made the tabs talk to each other. Okay, so now if I start grading, then it will be there. Now your next step would be, if you're using the helpful improvement sheets, if you do that, then of course you will need to go up and find whatever instrument that new student plays. You'll need to grab that improvement sheet, and then you would put it back and copy it in where it says paste improvement sheet, and that's if you're using it. And now the sheets are going to talk to each other. You can do all the grading that you want now. And now if you go to that new student, it will have the score there for them. So the first thing is, if you come up to the column for email score, I have a hidden column here. So you're going to click that, and it's going to present another what appears to be empty column, but it's not. And then the same thing after our red column. Hit that little arrow. Okay, and then you can just go to the one right above it that you already had built in. Okay, there is a code here that you see. Okay, and so what I would do first is I would copy that cell and paste it here. And then I would copy this cell and I would paste it here. And then you're going to do the same thing here. And the same thing here. So you've copied 1, 2, 3, 4 cells and put it into your new cell. So the next thing is you're going to have to adjust something in the formula on these 4 just to make sure that it's grabbing the right information for the automated email. So the information that should stay the same in this green column, okay, is A24, that's in blue. Okay, so we're going to change that to B24. And that one's done. We go to this next white column. So I'm going to change that to 25, and then we skip 26, 27, 28, and then skip, and then 29. And then we fix that one. We go to the red, and it's the B24 in blue. So we're going to skip, and we're going to go over there, change that to 24. That one's done. And then for this one here, so we're going to change those 25, 26, 27, 28. So now that should work. And so now you can test that, of course, by clicking the green button and pretending like we're sending that email. And it should populate and pull all the correct information. And then check the red button as well for absentee and make sure that it's pulling the correct information. And then just to make it easier on the eyes, what you'll probably want to do is come back to column H, click the arrow, hide that column again, click on J, tap the arrow, hide that column. Now your sheet has successfully added the new student that you would need. If it was a percussion student, you would do all the same things, except that you'd need to make sure that you were grabbing the percussion extra master sheet and making a copy of that one instead of the wind one and doing all the other steps the same way. Hopefully that was helpful for you if you need to add to your sheet.